Julie or Joan.
Actually, a little closer.
This is a song written by an Irishman, which is just advice in life. I hope you find the feet of a dancer. I hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. It won't be easy. What can I say? There will be trouble along the way. Round every corner, there'll be terror and fear. Always remember that we're here. And I hope you find the feet of a dancer. Hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. I hope you find love and affection. I hope you find someone who cares. I hope you find all the right directions everywhere. Everywhere. A shoulder to cry on whenever you're alone. You can rely on us, you know. Nothing too crazy and nothing too dear. Always remember that we're here. And I hope you find the feet of a dancer. Hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. I hope you find love and affection. I hope you find someone who cares. I hope you find all the right directions everywhere. Everywhere. Even when the rain comes falling down, when it comes falling down on you, still I hope you find the feet of a dancer. I hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. I hope you find love and affection. I hope you find someone who cares. I hope you find all the right directions everywhere. Everywhere.
Many of you do not know this, but Joan is new to the ukulele, so she did a very good job today. And Doug is a professional musician, among other things, and edits a bluegrass magazine in Minnesota. And I've seen copies of it. Very lovely magazine. So thank you, Doug. Yeah, thank you for taking Joan away from us. So, no, they're still a part of us wherever they go, even in Minnesota. So it's good to have you guys with us. So, and now we're going to do something we haven't done for a long time, and many of you probably never been a part of a service like this, but we're going to do what's called an in-gathering service, and that's to welcome all the people who are a little newer to the congregation, people who are new and haven't signed the book, or people who are new and want to sign the book, are people who are new or recent and don't want to sign the book. You're still welcome. So we appreciate your presence here. So I will begin with my part. We dedicate time today to invite friends of Berean Unitarian Universalist Fellowship into the special bond of membership. Becoming a member of a UU congregation is a commitment requiring your time, treasure, and talent. So I'm going to pose some questions to help you consider if you are ready to commit. And by the way, this is some heavy stuff. So don't be surprised if membership isn't right for you at this time. Before I do that, should we have the newer members come up, or?
I emailed several of you who have joined in the past 2 years, but weren't able to participate in an actual in-gathering. So I'll just list your names if you're here. Anya, Bridget, Oren, Leah, Eric, Vicky, Candace Elders. I see you came for this. Jim Gehring, I don't think he's here. Clark, Nancy, Liz is here. And Kim Myers is not, but also, no, I don't know. Is there anyone online that I
think
mentioned?
Brett, maybe you signed
He
last
did sign
time.
the book, yes.
Ah.
Brett did sign. He's on the last one.
Oh, Holly and Ishmael, yeah, Holly and David.
But that's up to them if they want to join.
Yeah,
Let
right,
them
of course,
listen to
if you want to, this is entirely up to you. So here are some questions, and you can answer them as you will in your seat, either silently or out loud. First, about our principles. Unitarian Universalist Congregation Covenant to affirm and promote 7 principles, which are held as strong values and moral guides. As a member of this UU congregation, will you affirm and promote the principles of Unitarian Universalism? Next, about Buff's mission. Buff's mission is to provide a welcoming and caring religious community dedicated to diversity of thought, social and environmental justice, and peace for all. Will you help the fellowship live its mission within Buff's walls into the greater community? Why don't we just have the whole congregation respond to that too? Okay, good. Next, a question about covenant, a promise defining how we want to be in relationship with one another. We say each Sunday, love is the spirit of this church and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Will you accept and hold this covenant, bringing as you are able your whole self to this fellowship? And finally, a question about commitment. Within your means, will you support this fellowship with your time, treasure, and talent? We say each Sunday, this fellowship is a community of ourselves. Its resources are our resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it. Within your means and ability, will you contribute to the life of this community? Thank you for considering this call to membership.
Thank you, Reverend Jim, for your call to membership. Good morning, everyone. I'm Joanne Creddick, a member of Buff's membership team, along with Lisa and Jim and anyone else who'd like to join us. If you feel called into membership today and within your means and ability are ready to contribute your time, treasure, and talent, especially when dwelling together in peace, seeking truth and love, and helping one another becomes difficult, please come to the front or raise your hand. Or if I read off your name earlier, please come to the front. If you have submitted a pledge and affirmation form, but have not yet signed the membership book, those are the names I read off, please come to the front or raise your hand. Okay. I'll come over here with you if you want to line up the book or up front here. However you want it.
Wow. Good morning, everybody. I am Harvey Johnson. For those who don't know, I'm the president of the board this year. We take turns doing such thing within our little co-op. Thank you, Joanne, for extending this invitation to membership. So now, let's see, for those following along with the script, I'm asking new members to please read in unison. I'm not sure if they have coming up. Yes, that's exactly it. So maybe I'll join new members, or maybe should I do that?
Yes, yes.
Sure. I come to Buff as a seeker, searching for affirmation and a deeper sense of belonging. I covenant to be true to the principles of UU faith that are honored here, honor the spirit of love that flows through this congregation, and help one another in this bond of membership and commitment to relationship. I seek your welcome as I join you in this faith. Oh, yes, here we go. New members, sorry to stumble. We welcome you as we ourselves were once welcome. Now the congregation's going to join in and read together in unison. There it is. Can you maybe see that?
That's it. That's the old one. We
What?
need to move on.
No,
That's
we
correct.
seek to be open. That's it. That's it. Let's see.
No, we just read that.
Oh, no, we did not. We
Oh,
we
okay.
were right on target, I believe.
Sorry
So
about
the
that.
congregation is reading to the new members now. Here we go. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent worth and dignity. We seek to be supportive, not only when you reach out to us, but also when you need us to reach out to you. We need and welcome your ideas, input, and your vision. We ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals. And when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us to help make more fully alive the spirit of love flowing through this congregation. Very cool. On behalf of the Berean Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, welcome new members. So good to have you. Oh.
Hey, yay. Don't sit down yet. We're gonna have you sign the membership book. Hey, we welcome new members. After you have signed the membership book, you may be seated. For those joining virtually today, which I don't think we have anyone virtual that hasn't, that wants to come forward. Are we missing anyone virtually? No, okay. So anyone though who isn't here and hasn't signed but wants to become a member will contact you to arrange a time for you to sign the book as well. Okay, so I guess we should announce who we have. So Bridget is signing on behalf of her entire family, Bridget and Oren Lorenz and their children, and Silas, their older son, he's 17 now. He is a youth member of our fellowship, our only youth member. We're really excited. Liz Goodwin joined probably about 6 months to a year ago, but we did pledge time, right?
Yeah, pledge time.
Yeah.
So what day should I use it?
Oh, today's date's fine.
21st. Is it already?
Okay. And Vicki Thomas is signing. She's already one of our board members, but she hasn't had the chance to sign the book yet. Thank you, Vicki. All right, and now our social justice chairs, Nancy and Clark Gilpin. Is that working? I can get you another one.
A member who doesn't know which end of the pen is the right way. That's hard. You just gave a covenant that you would help me.
There we go.
Okay, now we have Vanessa Salmon, who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, but yay, you were so moved by Reverend Jim McConnell's words. I bet you wanted to join us. Thank you. All right. And then Candace Elders. She has been a part of our fellowship for a long time, but I think just recently joined up and we're really excited.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Let's give another round of applause for. Okie dokie then. Let's go to the story for all ages. And others, but the young one just did an area right there. Would you come up right and just have a seat right there in that area? So we got 1, 2. We got 3. Okay. 6. Okay. And we got 7 and 8 coming up. Harvey, would you take these dollar bills? I have a job for you if you don't mind. So today, the Storyful Edges, we are going to have a mini workshop on democracy, very, very mini. Can anyone tell me, any one of you guys tell me what a democracy is? Anybody? What a democracy is? Oliver, what's a democracy? I don't know. Okay, well, you're just the person we want in this workshop then.
Wild guess.
Like, I don't know how to say it, but
yeah, but you kind of know, don't you? Today we're going to practice being a democracy. You guys are going to be a democracy. A democracy is a type of system where groups of people can decide what to do. Okay, and to do that, they take votes. Did anyone know what it is to vote? Yeah, okay, because you guys have done voting before. Okay. Very easy, very easy. Oh, and Ishmael, are you a part of Ishmael's there too? Like, we can't forget Ishmael. Democracy is a system where the wishes of the group are enacted through a voting process where the majority, does everyone know what a majority is? Yeah, more people vote for one thing than another. Okay, we got the idea. So today we're going to try a little something with the voting. And our ballots are actually going to be dollars. Could you give everyone $1 here?
no.
No, this dollar is your dollar. Ishmael, you're going to have an imaginary dollar. Or Holly, you're going to have to dig one out. So, but we'll take your dollar. Okay. Okay. Does everyone have their dollar now? Does Harvey have it? Let me see that. Let me have that dollar back. I might need $1. Okay. This is what, money, right? Who likes money here? You like money? See, okay, you get a good.
I have $417 and my piggy bank was 16.
Wow.
379.
Okay, I need to see you guys afterwards. I might need a loan. So, okay, so you guys like the money? How about you like the way the money smells?
Yeah,
No, man, it smells good. And how about the way it feels? Does it feel pretty good? Yeah, it does. Okay. So here's the deal. And this is you can do anything you want to. I want you to vote, and we'll keep an eye on Ishmael there too. But here's the deal. We're going to vote, and you're going to vote on one of two ideas, and whatever the majority picks is the way we're going to have to go. The first idea we're going to vote on is that everyone gets to keep their dollar. Okay. Does everyone like the idea of keeping their dollar?
yes.
Okay. Now the second idea we're going to vote on is the idea that we're going to put the money in the collection plate where it's going to be. Are actually going to give it back to me because I do send money there. We're going to send some money to the process called the World Food Program that's sponsored by the UN, and it sends money to hungry children. And some of the meals they give cost as little as 5 cents. So that means that this dollar can provide 20 meals for a little boy or a little girl like you who may live in a refugee camp or may live someplace where there's a drought or some kind of natural disaster. So does everyone understand what we're voting on? First idea, we keep the money. Second idea, we give the money to me and I send it to the hungry children. So, and like I said, perfectly, you can do this is whatever the body decides is the way we're going to go. Okay, who would like to keep the money? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ishmael, how about you? Oh, you don't want to? Okay, well, we'll count again then. Who wants to keep the money? Recount. 1, 2, 3, 4. And okay, Eric. And okay, well, who would like to give the money to the hungry children? You can vote twice, apparently. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I think, thank you guys. So if you put the money up here, I will send it to the World Food Program, which takes care of hungry children.
Jim
Yeah.
Ishmael voted for that too.
Did Ishmael, you vote for that too? Okay, Ishmael, yeah. Thank you. I'll put an extra $1 in for you. Okay, thank you, Ishmael. Thank you, kid. Good job. Good job. It's hard to give the money up, isn't it? If not, well, okay. Let's see. I think we're seeing some voter regret here. So, okay. Yeah, we did vote on that, honey. Yeah, that's the way we decide things here in this congregation. Okay, you know what, honey, Thea, we'll work on Thea later, okay? Or Thea can work on us. Okay, we'll see you guys. Thank you very much. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Thank you, kids. I have to say that I was a little surprised that that vote went that way. But thank you, kids, and thank you all. And now let's move to our next item on the program, Transgender Awareness Day, which Catherine Lyon and Lisa Fuller will lead for us.
Welcome. By the way, Lisa Fuller wrote this, and it was a part of a bunch of different things she brought together. And at the end, I'm going to say a prayer that Reverend Sunshine wrote. So Transgender Day of Remembrance, recognized annually on November 20th, was started in 1999 by transgender advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith as a vigil to honor the memory of Rita Hester, a transgender woman who was killed in 1998. But there is more to trans life than death and shifting. Trans Day of Remembrance to Trans Day of Resilience is a way to center a new narrative. Trans Day of Resilience was originally coined in 2015 to describe an annual art offering for trans people of color. Instead of centering on death alone, Trans Day of Resilience focuses on how trans communities of color resist violence and fight for their survival. Trans lives are often not valued in society, but Trans Day of Resilience challenged this by showcasing their power in the face of adversity. Recently, Billy Bragg, a UK singer, songwriter, and activist, came under fire for gender-critical activists for making the lyrics to his 1991 single, Sexuality, more trans-inclusive when he performs the song live. Gender critical is a term used since the 1970s, though possibly still new to many people. Describes women who threaten violence against trans women who dare exist in women's and lesbian spaces such as restrooms and bars. In his song Sexuality, Bragg had previously sung, "Just because you're gay, I won't turn you away. And if you stick around, I'm sure that we can find some common ground." Now he replaces gay with they and some common ground with the right pronouns. They and pronouns are expressions of allyship with the trans and non-binary communities. While support for gay and lesbian rights have come a long way since 1991, trans men and especially trans women have been left behind. The Pew Research Center found in 2017 that 84% of white evangelical Christians believe gender is determined by sex at birth. That demographic also has strong opinions about preventing women from getting abortions and often supports policies attempting to define transgender right out of existence. Use of public restrooms by transgender women is a flashpoint, with gender-critical women arguing that they don't feel safe when trans women who have not yet fully transitioned are allowed to use the same bathrooms. They assert that trans people are by nature sexual predators who cannot be trusted in the presence of children and are nothing but perverts, a sweeping pejorative. The Washington Post reported this month that 2021 has already so far been the deadliest year on record for transgender people in the US. And who is perpetrating this violence? Cisgender men. men whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. So by trying to push a trans women back into the men's toilets, gender critical activists are forcing the already vulnerable trans women community into the threat of even more violence and abuse. The issue of trans rights is complex. The gender critical argument inevitably boils down to the question of which is more important, biology or human rights. The argument reminds us of when 20th century feminists were opposed by those believing women's traditional family roles were more important than their basic human rights. Honoring trans people, living and dead, aligns with our first UU principle, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of all beings. And the modification of adding or exchanging resilience for remembrance aligns with UU as a living tradition too, where living tradition is a blend of traditionalism with innovation. Heritage and legacy are infused through living, breathing contributions that acknowledge change. Sharing this information today on behalf of Buff's welcoming congregation is important as a way to understand that Billy Bragg doesn't erase the gay and lesbian community by changing the lyrics to his song to be trans inclusive. The lyrics are simply updated to reflect the changing times we live in. And as an aside, the song could use further updating, as in the 1991 title, Sexuality doesn't even apply to transgender in today's understanding of trans as a gender identity, not a sexual orientation. Substituting resilience for remembrance uplifts the power that trans people, especially trans people of color, hold throughout their lifetimes. So on this Transgender Day of Resilience, we remember those who have been murdered for being who they are, those who face violence on a daily basis, and those who have lost lives, and those who have lost loved ones, and those who worry for loved ones.
Thank you, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Fuller. The following message was delivered by Reverend Rita Capezzi on May 16th, 2021 at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Mankato. That's in Minnesota. I've made some adaptations for today's service. I stumbled across this sermon on Monday and was amazed to find it addressed a response to a survey that we did asking for congregational input on Sunday services last spring. One of the responses that we got on the survey was, with such a variety of religious beliefs at Buff, what are we actually worshiping? Or are we? Or are we supposed to? So I think that this sermon answers that question. Plus, it includes references to covenant, which we talked about in our new member ingathering this morning, and it references inclusion. And we just acknowledged Transgender Day of Remembrance and Resilience. It's always sad to me when people don't know about Berean UU Fellowship or about our religion. And maybe that's something to do with how most UUs inhabit Unitarian Universalism. They are within UU. So let's get one thing on the table right away. Unitarian Universalism is a religion. For some of us, it's a no-brainer. Calling UUism a religion is fine and comfortable for some of us. And for some of us, the use of that word and all that it brings rubs the wrong way. It smacks of superstition, emotionalism, and the irrational. It reminds too much of the traditions that felt or feel toxic. I know. However, it should strike all of us here that here we are gathered on a Sunday morning inside a church-like space, participating in rituals, listening for life's meaning. This is not an academic lecture. So what is religion then? This morning, Reverend Capezzi offers one answer. And as you use, or anyone seeking, I know you will seek further. First, as Unitarian Universalists, we don't get bogged down at the start with a single belief, a single ritual, specific language, or a doctrine. All the things that we might associate with other religions that we know. We do not profess one way, but make no mistake, as a religion, we are asking questions and seeking answers about the ultimate meaning and purpose of life. We are here or there because we are of course, for starters. We are asking questions and seeking answers about the ultimate meaning and purpose of life. We're looking for the more beyond, the more that underlies our everyday experience. And that's all that religion is really at its base, the search for more beyond ourselves. And here we look for those answers together in community, knowing that meaning and purpose emerge in the context of relationship, in the context of mutual sharing and exploration. Our UU religion has origins and deep, complex roots in two strands of early Christianity. The quilts that you see on the walls of the sanctuary were created by Gloria Wieberg and also B. Takeuchi, and they represent the history of Unitarian and Universalism and Unitarian Universalism as they merged in 1963. The two strands of Christianity have to do with, first, the presumed nature of God. Is God a Trinity or a unity or something else? And second, the strands of Christianity have to do with the possibility of salvation. Are we all saved, or are some of us damned by this God to eternal hellfire? In defining the relationship between Unitarians and Universalists in the 19th century, Thomas Appleton quipped, "Universalists think that God is too good to damn them, and Unitarians think they are too good to be damned." Unitarians are always interrogating the received truth. They're seeking more, higher, underlying truth. Despite being mocked and ostracized through the centuries, UUs have searched. For example, seeking a religion of spirit rather than divine entity, Cyrus Bartle, a transcendentalist, asserted I spell my God with 2 O's. And I spell my devil with no D. Now, there's a risk in Unitarian skepticism. It can create arrogance, especially when one decides enough. Let me put down my stake, call this the end. All right, this is the truth, everybody. This is the truth. All right, that's an arrogance of skepticism that could exist in Unitarianism. On the other hand, Unitarian skepticism can also lead to a deep humility, believing that there is always more out ahead, more behind, more to discover, more to know, to use, to make one's picture of reality larger, more encompassing, but never complete. How could complete even be a thing in an unfinished reality where truth is not set? Eventually, a strand of Unitarianism led to the emergence of humanism, with the understanding that a person can be good with or without God. That came from Unitarianism. The emergence of humanism, the understanding that a person can be good with or without God. We're going to come back to that again with universalism. Universalists also confront tendencies in Christianity, specifically doctrines declaring the inherent evilness and depravity of human beings, debased and hardly worth salvation. This quotation, widely attributed to 19th century Universalist John Murray, makes this point. Give the people blanketed with a decaying and crumbling Calvinism something of your new vision. Give them not hell, but hope and courage. Don't push them into deeper theological despair. Preach the kindness and everlasting love of God. Here's another 19th century story challenging the impossibility of being good without the threat of damnation. A theologically conservative skeptic interrogated Universalist minister Hosea Ballou about the ways that universalism could lead to the moral corruption of society. Brother Ballou, he said, so if I were a universalist and feared not the fires of hell, I could hit you over the head, steal your horse and your saddle, and ride away, and I'd still go to heaven. Ballou responded, sir, if you were a universalist, that idea would never even occur to you. Universalism can devolve into sentimentality, especially if we do not hold each other responsible for wrongs we do in the world, for the hurt and harm we cause others. And yet the universe is always creatively unfolding life itself, the goodness of green leaves photosynthesizing, the goodness of birdsong, the goodness of microbes nourishing the earth. We participate in this goodness when we too do goodness, when we love, when we care, when we help a neighbor we don't know, when we work for liberation and justice for those whose lives are different than our own. But this is not to say that the universe is all sweetness and light. Cosmic cataclysm created the sun and the earth. Diseases emerge, cause us pain, suffering, death. And we participate in this cataclysm, this sin and death, when we hate, when we neglect, when we judge, when we push aside some as unworthy. So we are all enfolded, one with the possibility for evil, and two, within the possibility of goodness. And we each, of course, do both. We know we do. We do evil, we do good. We do evil, we do good. But we choose how we will live. We choose to see ourselves full of loving kindness, peaceful and at ease, whole, so that we may feel for others. There is potential in all of us to create goodness because there is a sacred within us, between us and beyond us. So Unitarian Universalists refer to this religion, our faith tradition, as a living tradition, as Catherine mentioned in the Transgender Day of Remembrance message. As such, our living tradition is defined by plurality, or many ideas, and transformation, change, by experiences and ideas that emerge from a confluence of possibilities, unconstrained by belief or doctrine. It's an ever-changing faith, which can be exciting, but also exasperating, deeply troubling, and also richly fulfilling. In our religion, multiple stories converge within us and between us, both tapping in to that larger beyond and also co-creating that beyond, that more, that mystery that we can't always name. Some of us can hold the tensions of prior faith traditions more easily than others, retaining some of what we already believe and also making room for that which we do not yet know. Christian UU, Jewish UU, pagan UU, Muslim UU, these are not impossibilities. I think they even live in this very room right now, today, even if they're nothing at all like our own personal experience. My personal experience. We can struggle our way to realizing that how we see the world is not the whole world, not all of the reality that's available and lived by others. Our faith tradition exists within the contrast between our histories and our desires to make a space for the sacred in our lives, a sacred that's always behind our grasp. Now, you might have to redefine sacred if that feels too churchy for you. You might have to say more fully human or more ethical. But Unitarian Universalism obligates you to redefine, to make a translation, so that you can be in relationship with those in this congregation who name that more differently than you do. Anyone who says UUs can believe anything they want does not understand our tradition. Thank you. Anyone who says UUs can believe anything they want, who's heard that? UUs can believe anything they want, does not understand our tradition. Believing is a separate thing from how we live with each other, with those we don't know, with compassion and respect, while acknowledging the views about life that we disagree with. That's UU. Change and transformation inform the values underlying the principles we hold, including the possibility of new principles. Thank you, living tradition. As UUs, we affirm a set of principles on the wall here, currently numbered at 7. These are not beliefs, though. They're agreements for how we'll act toward each other and what we will work for in our world. And because these are not beliefs, we can't assume them. We have to bring them into being to create the conditions of justice, equity, and compassion that we claim to care about. We have to become more loving toward and accepting of one another. We must encourage each other toward spiritual growth if the search for truth and meaning is to move beyond confirmation bias, the thing that supports or confirms what we already believe. If we claim to work for peace, liberty, and justice for all, we must grow more inclusive in the process of decision-making. Thank you, democracy example, story for all ages. We must enhance our sense of interconnectedness, everyone and everything in relationship, no one and nothing left out or isolated or alone. Now, all of this is not to say that other religious traditions do not encourage or require personal transformation. But in so many other religious traditions, the change is prescribed. You will become more of this, as defined by our sacred texts and rituals, by our interpretive doctrine and tradition. Look how long it's taken some churches to say that queer people are people, worthy of God's love, and yet still question their inherent worth and dignity. For Unitarian Universalists, there's no one text. There's no single notion of the sacred. There's no presumption of absolute knowledge about anything. The very definition of science, held so dearly by us, means the unfolding of learning, the new that is not yet evident, the necessity of transforming the truth when we discover that we've been wrong in our previous conclusions. Now, this orientation is special to us, but it doesn't make us exceptional. There is a great risk in the idea of being exceptional, and UUs are certainly subject to it. The emphasis on transformation, however, is what makes us the exception in faith traditions. Transformation, freely accepted yet unknowable, subject to forces greater than ourselves and our human knowledge, forces we don't even know exist yet. And transformation as a source of hope rather than fear, of possibility rather than insecurity. We speak of changing ourselves, our institutions, our church, and we acknowledge it's normal that our congregations are different from one another, even as we strive for relationship across our differences. It's transformation that calls us as Unitarian Universalists. We can open our minds humbly and learn like good Unitarians. We can foster the liveliness of life and the good that sustains us in companionship like good Universalists, because we are Unitarian Universalists. Emmylou Belcher said in her meditation, "The life that stretches between us." For this life, for the freedom we have to shape and pursue our lives, we are grateful and rejoice. We are small as a denomination, as a fellowship. We are small but mighty. We think thoughts of justice and right, and we do the work to help make us so. We are Unitarian Universalists. So why wouldn't we want others to know about us? Why do we not, each and every one of us, shout this faith from the rooftops? Our religion opens us to the possibility that we are all ever-changing light. Let us shine our light brightly, opening and proclaim our saving faith to the world. Let us open to the sacred within us, between us, beyond us, reminding us that we are beloved, beloved, beloved. As you remember today and every day, that in this fellowship, in this religious community, in this faith that holds you tightly with possibility, you are loved, you are worthy, you are welcome, and you are needed. May you feel it so, may it be so, and may the people say together, Amen.
To extinguish the chalice for us. We extinguish the chalice here that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we see we are together again. And now let's sing our Go in Peace song. And one day after the pandemic, we'll be able to sing this like we used to in a circle around the sanctuary with that in the center. But today we sing it from there and from our screen. So go ahead. very much for coming today. Thank you for Beth and Terry for their lovely work on tech today, which is harder than it looks. And for Candace, who is always at the piano, helping us have really great music. So thank you. And for Nan and Harvey for leading our singing. So thank you all. And if I could